Flav City family, what is up? It is Art and Bobby back at the grocery store for the first time this year actually. I have been laid out sick the last like 7 to 10 days. Man, it's a good thing too because Art and I filmed all the Flav City shorts you've been seeing all month long last month, but I must have overdone it because man, I have been sick, and from what I understand, I feel like people are sick all over the country. So I thought it'd be fun to come back to the grocery store because number one, today's the first day I'm actually feeling good, and do a video what to eat and drink when you're sick, because when you're sick, it's the worst feeling. You want to mend your body, you want to get healthy and get out there as soon as possible. So let's walk around and show you what to eat, drink, but also what to avoid, because there's certain things that you might eat every day or drink, like coffee, spoiler alert, that you want to avoid. Before we get started, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, all those important things. But the most important is a bell icon right below the video. You guys, this month, like I've talked about all month long, videos are dropping every single day. I hope you're not getting Flav City overload because we're having a really fun time. So you want to enable all notifications. That way you get a push as soon as we go live. So the first thing I want to tell you actually to drink is tea. But before I tell you why, I actually want you to avoid this, coffee. Here's the deal, coffee is a diuretic, right? Diuretics can dehydrate you. When you're sick, you have to drink a ton of fluid and stay as hydrated as possible. So I really would not recommend drinking any kind of coffee. Coffee is also slightly acidic. Acidic foods can make you a little more inflammatory and upset your throat. So just give up coffee for a while and go to tea. Why is tea great? Because tea is a natural decongestant. It also is high in polyphenols, which are really, really good for you. The thing is about tea, I would go for something that is either naturally decaffeinated, like an herbal tea, or make sure it doesn't have natural flavors. So if I pick up something like Mighty Leaf right here, I like this brand because when I drink tea, I always drink whole leaf tea because that's the most superior leaf. You don't want the ground up pieces, but when I look for the ingredients, a lot of times, see, they always have natural flavors, and you know how we feel about natural flavors. So I would actually put that back, and I would look for something that doesn't have it. And one brand I really like, check this out, Art, is Numi. Numi is very clean. Even the flavored ones like Moroccan mint, use real mint, turmeric would be great. Any one of these would be great. It's all about the properties it has in there and staying hydrated. So very, very important stuff. Now, oftentimes when you make tea, right, you want to stir something sweet in there. And actually honey is really good on when you're sick, whether it's a cold, a flu, whatever. But honey is very tricky. So let's go walk over to the honey aisle and I'll tell you what to look for when you buy it. Honey is not quite as easy as you think. So when you buy honey, I want you to look for two things. I really think raw honey is worth it because it's completely unprocessed. Sometimes what makers will do is they don't want the honey to be kind of thick and viscous, so they'll heat it up. And sometimes when you get the honey in the bear like this, it runs really easily, but it's been heated to temperatures that are not too high, but high enough to kill some of the living enzymes in the honey. So I'd go for raw, and you really want to know where your honey comes from, so buy locally produced honey that you know is made in the USA, because what happens is China has really infiltrated the market with honey that's cut with rice syrup. If you watch a documentary on Netflix called Rotten, from season 1, there's a honey episode, and even though it might say it's made in the USA, that doesn't mean that it's produced in the USA, because countries like China will ship their honey, not even here anymore, they can't, but now they ship it to like Singapore, then it comes here and it's packaged here, so it says made in the USA. So I would look for locally produced raw honey. I know Costco has a huge jug. I think it's really, really important. And the cool thing about honey is that it has an antibacterial effect to it. So when you mix that with hot tea, it's really good for you. And I'd be remiss without telling you to make the Flav City immune boosting tea. It's something I drink all winter long. I'll put the recipe down below. It's turmeric, ginger, honey, cayenne pepper, black pepper, coconut oil. It is so darn good and really boosts your immune system. But look for honey. Sometimes they'll have a true source verified sticker on there, but you just want to buy locally produced honey. And what you want to stay away from is the devil, right? We talk about this, cane sugar, right? Doesn't matter if it's organic cane sugar, sugar in the raw, brown sugar, turbinado sugar. Sugar will suppress your white blood cells' ability to work. It'll suppress your immune system, but a lot of people don't realize that sugar will actually feed the bad bacteria in your gut and kill the good one. And when you're sick, you don't want any kind of sugar like this. It's highly processed and refined, but a little bit of honey and tea is really good. So knock out the sweets, knock out any sugar in your tea. You don't want that when you're sick at all. Okay, let's move on to another item that really is gonna help you get better this winter when you get sick. All right, sticking in the theme of hydration, which is very important, and electrolytes when you're sick, you really want to pour those into your body. Coconut water. We oftentimes think coconut water has that, and it does, especially the electrolytes. If you remember the water video from last summer, I don't like to buy those electrolyte drinks because they're oftentimes pumped with sugar, fake sugar, or natural flavor. The nice thing about coconut water is that it has natural electrolytes in there, stuff your body needs like minerals like potassium and magnesium. The thing about this coconut water, even though it is good for you, it's not nearly as good as it could be because this is pasteurized. It's high temperature, short time pasteurized. And we have a Flavor City short coming next week about the healthiest drinks to buy at the grocery store, so I don't want to spoil it. So I would forego that, and there's two ways you can go. You have heard me talk about this brand before. It's Harmless Harvest coconut water, and it's not nearly as processed of that. Instead of high temperature, short time, it's actually HPP, high pressure pasteurized, which creates a little bit of heat, but not nearly as much. So you get the added benefit of not killing the enzymes. And now actually Trader Joe's has their version of this. I think it's a little bit cheaper, but I would spend the extra money to get this over that because it has more living enzymes. But you know what's even better than this that we didn't talk about in the video coming out next week? Let me show you. There's one amazing option. Let's go to the produce section. You're out now?
Yeah.
Oh man, all right, thanks. All right, I just asked the produce guy, they're out. But normally, right here, would live a young Thai coconut. So imagine that white coconut you've seen wrapped in plastic wrap, it's here. What's cool about that, it's completely unprocessed. All you have to do is buy a coconut opener. I think it's called a Coco Jack. You really don't want to do it with a knife, it's kind of dangerous. But the beauty of that, it's raw, completely unpasteurized, and you get the water, which there's a ton of water in there. You also get the coconut meat. That meat is full of MCTs, good saturated fat, and if you blend that in a smoothie with the coconut water or almond milk and protein powder, man, so it's way cheaper because a bottle of coconut water could be like $3-4. That's $4 or $5, and you get the meat too. So try to search for that. They usually have them at Asian supermarkets. It's a great deal, and it's way better for you than anything you can buy in the store shelf, including the refrigerator section. Chicken soup for the soul. You gotta pound this stuff when you're sick, but if you're not gonna make your homemade chicken soup, you gotta be careful about the ones you buy. Because if you read the ingredients, a lot of them are loaded with natural flavors, yeast extracts, preservatives, and stuff like that. So what I would actually just stick to chicken bone broth. But if you followed me along the grocery store adventures, you know a lot of broths in here are not that great. So if you read the ingredients, you're gonna see caramel coloring, maltodextrin. So I would avoid this stuff typically here, except for this one I'll grab, and go for the stuff in the glass containers here, like bone broth. So why is bone broth awesome, right? Because it is usually organic, but it has gelatin, collagen, and chondroitin, and it's really good for your gut. I've talked about this before. 80% of the cells that make up your immune system live in your gut, so it's really important to you to foster that. But also it's good for hydration when you're sick. It also has a ton of electrolytes in there because the bones contain essential minerals your body needs. Now, if you're gonna buy it, you gotta stick with clean brands. So this is the only boxed brand that's really good. It's Pacific Organic Bone Broth. And then other great brands are like this. I mean, Epic makes a fantastic one. I love that it's in glass. Whole Foods makes a great one. Kettle and Fire makes a great one. And they're all gonna have relatively similar ingredients. We look at this here, right? Organic, bones, vegetables, turmeric, rosemary, very good stuff. My only issue with buying this stuff, you guys, is that it's very pricey. So I've told you about this a million times, but go to the Flavor City Instagram, go to my save story for bone broth, and make your own homemade. It comes out to about $14 a gallon for homemade. This stuff can go anywhere from $35 to $45 a gallon, and when you actually make your own, you can reuse it a second or third time. It's a fantastic recipe, and I really believe in drinking that all winter long just to keep you healthy and to help you fight and get over that cold. Really, really important stuff. When I was a kid, my parents would stuff my brother and I full of antibiotics anytime we had a sniffle or a cough. And the reason why that was so devastating is because antibiotics kill the bad bacteria in your body, but they don't judge, they're not biased. They kill all bacteria, including the good stuff. So my gut microbiome was destroyed. So I used to get sinus infections 4 times a year. But when I met Dessi about 10 years ago, she told me to stop taking the Z-Pack and the antibiotics and start fighting through the colds and building your immune system. And I got so much better that I stopped getting sinus infections. So what I would do, and we talked about this recently, is eat foods rich in probiotics. The thing is, if you're gonna talk about something like kefir, check this out. We have options here, but I wouldn't eat the kefir that's dairy-based when you're sick because Dairy doesn't make your body produce more phlegm, but it can make your phlegm thicker and harder to expectorate or get out of your body. So I would just for that week or so trade down and get dairy-free kefir and dairy-free yogurt made with almonds or whatever. And the cool thing about this is that it has the live and active bacteria here. And when you have probiotics like this, it not only can keep you from getting sick, it can help get you healthier quicker. But be careful, we talked about this in the Bobby Short last week. You don't want to get the ones that are sweetened like this, because when you get ones that are sweetened with 16 grams of sugar per 8 ounces, which is crazy, it cancels out the probiotic benefit. So I would be very careful. So while you're sick, you can drink kefir, you can get yogurt, but get the dairy-free ones because you're not gonna have that phlegm issue. It's gonna build the probiotics, and once you get better, you can go back to dairy. And then on the flip side, you could also eat foods like this, Art. You can eat fermented cabbage, fermented pickles, kimchi, all probiotics, all good for you. Really, really important stuff that I swear by. All right, Flavor family, that is it. Not only was I sick, but Art, you were sick last week too, right? Dude, it was going around bad. So if you are sick, if you want to stay healthy, try out the recommendations we just did. If you know any more homeopathic or homemade remedies, leave a comment down below. Art and I have 2 more videos going below us right now, but keep sharing, keep subscribing. You guys, we're doing awesome this month, but the only way this channel grows is by you guys spreading the love. Art and I will see you very soon. Until then, we say to you like we always do. Hashtag keep on cooking, mad love and peace. Hey, no, you ruined the effect, Art.